City Council meeting, and now call this meeting to order. I trust that your cell phones have been placed on silent. This time I'm going to ask Councilman Ledford if he would to lead us in the pledge and invocation if he so desires.
Would we stand? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. All right, we have no special presentations this afternoon. Could I get a motion on the minutes? All right, we have a motion on the minutes with a proper second. With no objections, the minutes will stand as recorded. Moving into our agenda, we do have Equity and Community Development Committee this afternoon, and we're going to get an update on summer camp. I'd like to welcome all of our community directors here this afternoon. We're excited to see you. All right, moving into this week's agenda. Under final reading, we have a couple of planning items, council. Anything under final reading that needs to be brought to our attention? If not, we'll move into ordinances on first reading. A couple of items under Parks and Public Works. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have one item that is under here on first reading, 2024-0096, that we are good with. And then under planning, item C, that is one that I will be requesting a deferral until November 19th.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All right. Any other items under first reading that needs to be brought to our attention? Moving then into resolutions. Under economic development, we have a couple of items and one item under Parks and Public Works. Anything under resolutions that need to be brought to the council's attention at this time? If not, we move into next week's proposed agenda, where all of our first readings will become final readings. We do not have any first readings proposed for next week, so moving into resolutions for next week. Anything that needs to be brought to this council's attention under resolutions? We have economic development, parks and public works, education and innovation. And then a couple of appointments. One big appointment from the mayor's office. Well, a couple of big appointments, actually. Two. Police chief and then our public works director. All right, and I think Councilwoman Dotley, we do have a public safety committee meeting. I think we will be addressing that then, right? Okay, next week. All right, anything on next week's proposed agenda? If not, council, if you'll take a look at your purchase items for this week, let me know if you have any questions or concerns under purchases. If not, we'll move into future considerations. Anything under future considerations that needs to be brought to the council's attention? Councilman Ledford.
Mr. Chairman, if you'll allow me to call up Karen Rennick, I would like to briefly introduce the planning item A, mainly because we did cover this yesterday in depth at Planning Commission, and I just want the council to have a little more in-depth background on this. Karen?
Sure. This is a resolution establishing a grace period to transition between the old zoning ordinance and the new zoning ordinance. The new zoning ordinance is effective November 20th. We've been working with a lot of applicants, property owners, people interested in developing property that are already in the process that need a little bit more time. They've already been working on a project and be ready to pull a building permit, just not quite yet. So we're recommending a grace period of 6 months. This is what we did when we established the form-based code. We had downtown zoning that was primarily a C3 zoning. When form-based code went into effect, I believe in 2016, we had a similar grace period. We did discuss with our LDO partners how that went. The feedback was the grace period went well at that time, where you could choose, I would like to develop under my old zone, I would like to develop under the new zone, and we're choosing to, we're requesting council to be able to have the grace period again. So in this case, someone developing property, when they pull their building permit during this time, this 6-month grace period time, they can continue to develop under their older zone that they might have been developing a project under, or they, once the new zones are effective and mapped and council's acted on that, they could choose their new zone. This is just to allow the development community a little bit more time to transition to the new zoning ordinance.
Very good. And one of the reasons for this is fulfilling the promise that we would be flexible. And I think that's a reasonable precedent that was set, obviously, with form-based code. So we have something to stand on. That's solid. But I think this is going and beyond even what I think we were expected. So I'm very happy when Karen brought this to my attention that we move forward. I just wanted council to understand that we are fulfilling a promise to be flexible as we transition into this new zone.
Thank you. Karen, I do have a question. November's rolling up on us, and it's my understanding that I think you're probably 90 or 95% complete on the mapping. When are we going to start taking this to the neighborhood associations
Yes.
to vet this?
We did a presentation of Planning Commission yesterday. You're correct. We're about 95% there. We have the map itself, the website that's pushing out the map, all the text and handouts to go along with it. We hope to go live next week. We did present, I believe it was August 26th, the neighborhood roundtable, leadership roundtable, and presented it, kind of got a first pass at that. We hope to go live next week. We gave an update to Planning Commission that the schedule would be an October Planning Commission. That would mean that we really have been live on the map and all the materials for about 4 weeks at that point. So we're going to kind of monitor and see how that's going. But our intention is to follow up with the Neighborhood Leadership Roundtable, push out information through neighborhood services, and then start communicating as soon as we have that. We've been doing Ask a Planner, which is kind of new, but we have 2 times a week. Anyone can stop by, talk to us about the new zoning ordinance, meaning we're not away at a meeting. We're here to focus with them, doing that with LDO. And we've been talking about the new equivalent zone, what their new proposed zone would be. So we've already had a lot of discussion with folks that do have development in the process, but we're hoping to go live with everything next week.
Okay, I was under the impression that we would actually take it to the neighborhood meetings, neighborhood association meetings.
We will, we did the neighborhood leadership roundtable, but we can push out through neighborhood meetings too.
Okay.
So just a reminder, the equivalent mapping is the most similar new zone to your old
Right,
zone.
yeah.
So for some quite a few properties, it's going to be pretty much a seamless transition where there's not going to be a noticeable impact because the uses are almost identical and there might be some change to your setback standards. So we are trying to be really careful on our messaging that this is not a full zoning case for each property, that we're just picking the new zone that's most similar to the old zone. But yes,
So
well,
it's
we
those
will
special
report back.
cases the
Yes.
special cases that keep us up at night. Okay.
That is correct. And we do flag the special cases and are trying to document all that as much as possible on the website. And we've asked the special cases to give us a call. We'd want to communicate with them.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I might add,
All right.
Karen, what process would you prefer for council members to reach out that are trying to put together, and I think Neighborhood Services is going to play a crucial role in organizing the meetings that we're talking about within the districts. What process, or be thinking about that, and if you would send us an email.
I will.
And let us know so we can start to think about that in the next month or so.
I will, and we had made a commitment before we went live to do a current and future zoning map, along with kind of a quick blurb to explain what we're doing. So we will provide that.
Thank you. Councilwoman Burrs.
Hey, Karen,
Can I have a list of the current members of the Neighborhood Roundtable?
Yes.
Active? Okay.
Yes, I can provide you the list for, that were at the meeting that we presented at, or would you like the list of, can ask Neighborhood Services to provide the list of everyone who
Well,
attends?
the thing is, if we're pushing it out through the neighborhoods, I love the idea of doing it through the roundtable. I want to be able to identify the people in my district to see if I can be helpful in any way.
Yes.
I don't know exactly in my district who's on the roundtable.
Yes, I will get that information and
Okay,
send it out
thank
to
you.
council members.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're clear. Good.
Okay.
All right, council, anything else on future considerations that need to be brought to our attention at this time? If not, I think that brings us to our equity and community development, so we'll turn that committee over to Councilwoman Coonrod at this time.
All right. Welcome to the Basis Committee. Can get approval of the minutes?
Second.
All right, Melissa. We got a presentation. Yeah, so excited. There it is.
Good afternoon to the council. On behalf of community development and all of our staff who are here, over here, and we have our new Deputy Administrator Joy with us today. We want to present you with some of the highlights from our summer 2024 camp. So we had the opportunity to spend 8 wonderful weeks with our children this summer from ages 6 to 16. And we offered a very affordable rate for families in the Chattanooga community. And also, in addition to that, we had senior enrichment activities for our seniors. And with our registration this year, we're really excited about that because this was the first year that we were able to roll out our online registration. And we had 630 plus registered, and of that, 95+ % registered online. And we also had a parent portal. And for those who had challenges working with the online process, we still provided for them one-on-one, hands-on instruction where they could either call the office or come by the City Hall Midtown and get their children enrolled. And then we went through all of the proper protocols to make sure that our staff was trained and ready to handle kids. And then we also did feedback and evaluations from the parents. So overall, it was a really good registration onboarding process. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris.
All righty. So this year we had 17 community centers that offered diverse programming, not only to youth, but also to seniors and teens, as Carol just indicated to us. So I have those up on the screen here. This year, we introduced teen camps at East Lake and East Chattanooga Community Centers, expanding our reach and enriching the experiences to our older youth. This year's program included tours of local businesses, workforce and entrepreneurial skills, in addition to exposing youth to various experiences and executive level opportunities in our city. This is also our third year partnering with Dynamo Studios for our Go Live Media Camp at the South Chattanooga Community Center, where we hosted 30+ teens who learned about music and photography. And want to thank the council for hosting some of those teens this summer. They had a great time, and then also a great time going up to Rock City for some fun that they had this year. So want to thank you guys for that. So this next slide, I'm gonna turn it over to Ty.
All right, we'll talk about our seniors. And we all know our seniors is very, very active. They have been so active that we had to sit back and create a summer senior camp for our seniors. And this past year, our seniors, they they did a lot. They did a whole lot. And they took bus tours, they did nature walk, they did hikes. They also had health and wellness programs at the centers. And the 3 centers that provided this was Hickson, the Francis B. Wise Center, and the North River Silver Center. Our seniors, they really enjoyed themselves, and just going after talking to them, they are looking forward to us doing this again next year. And we're really looking forward to that. They also enjoyed themselves tremendously. They are telling everybody about it. They want more people to get involved, and that's something that we're going to work on coming in the future. Some of our big success during our camp was we provided a lot of dynamic events for our kids. And some of it was they did over 100 field trips to a lot of different places, educational destination that was provided throughout the state, as well as they got to explore parks. They went to a local museum, and they also did out-of-town adventure. Our kids really enjoyed themselves. We're looking forward to doing this again next year, and I'm hoping that our numbers increase every year that we have a camp.
All right, cool. All righty. Just want to talk a little bit about the big thanks is, of course, to our staff. The success of summer camp season would not have been possible without the dedication and hard work of our nearly 90-plus staff members and counselors. Their passion for molding young minds and ensuring a safe and supportive environment was truly the backbone of this program. So again, we owe a huge thanks to our staff that are here today. And as we wrap up this season, we're planning for Summer Camp 25 already. It's going to be even bigger and better with more opportunities, fun, and activities. So we are excited. I'm going to turn it back over to Carol, who will give our closing. So thank you.
So we know that that was a brief overview, but hopefully that gave you some insight into what we were able to do over the 8 weeks for the summer. And after the holidays, which will be here soon, we will be right back at it in January, kicking off the planning so that we're ready to roll out our registration at the end of May next year, so that we can have another great summer camp in 2025. So thank you for the opportunity to allow us to highlight some of the things that happen with our camp and with our children. And again, thank you to the staff for all of your hard work during the summer.
All right, thank you for the presentation. This is my chill portion. Chairman Henderson.
Oh, it's me. Looks like it's me. Thank you so much for this presentation and for all these fun photos of these smiling children and smiling adults. I mean, what a joyful presentation to get to share with council, and a reminder that there's so many facets to what our city brings to bear for the quality of life of our citizens. And this is really neat. And I have been learning a lot about what happens at the North Chattanooga Rec Center, and something that really resonated with me was that those children got to go to the Civil Rights Museum down in Birmingham, and that, I believe, was probably a life-changing experience for some of those young people. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Chairman Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know we've got several of the community directors here. Can we have them stand so we can just recognize them?
Yes, over there.
Thank y'all for being here this afternoon, and I tell you what, y'all make such an impact on this city that you'll probably never know actually the impact that you do make. What are some of the, and Councilwoman or Vice Chair Hill mentioned going down to Birmingham to the Civil Rights Museum. What are some of the other, I noticed one of the slides said out-of-town adventures, and I was really interested in what you were doing to get our kids outside of Chattanooga, kind of out of their comfort zone.
Well, they were everywhere.
Maybe
They went to the Space and Rocket Center. They were learning some at the Georgia Aquarium. So they went to a host of different activities. The biggest thing is what we're trying to do with a lot of our camps and activities is instead of buying stuff, we want to buy them an adventure,
Yeah.
right? Take them out of their, what they're usually doing in community centers and really expose them to something that is great. So we were actually able to sit down with each one of our community center managers this year and say, what do you want to see as far as field trips, instead of us saying, well, you're going to go here, here, and here. And so that's why planning is so important, and that's why we're already planning for Summer Camp 25 so that we can continue these fun and engaging trips. They were excited. I think in most of our community centers, they were going on a trip every single week, which in past, they would go on a trip once a year. And it would be like an ending trip. So it really was fun and engaging activities.
I think that's critical and so important to get our kids exposure to, different environments.
Absolutely.
To open up their world to see what's possible. And I don't think it's too early to take them to college campuses.
Absolutely.
Get them exposure to that and see what's possible. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Councilwoman Noel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you all. I want to say thank you. And I want to especially say for the District 8 centers. Now, I know you talked about the senior centers, but you all failed to mention Avondale Senior Program, which has been in effect since the 90s for seniors. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so I didn't hear that. So, I keep my ears tuned out for District 8. Keep them in tune. I heard 3 other seniors programs, but I didn't hear you say anything about the Avondale Senior Program.
Yeah, because Avondale wasn't providing a senior program this year. They was doing a regular summer camp for the youth. So that's why. And so this was like the first initiative senior camp, and we just had to pick 3 sites. And the 3 sites that we chose were sites that wasn't running a youth camp. So we asked them to do a senior camp. Like the other 2 sites that we had, they were doing teen camps. So we were just trying to have a variety of camps for people. So, but that's the only reason why we didn't mention Avondale as a senior camp, because they were doing youth.
Okay, so they do have a senior program there, right?
Yeah, they have a senior
Avondale,
program.
That's been there forever.
Yes, ma'am.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. All right, let's just,
Okay.
let's try to get it straight, okay? And I was there at the camp at Avondale, and they had a back-to-school book drive or supplies, and they partnered with the fire department, and there was about 60, 70 bags. It was filled with everything that any student would need in order to not just begin, but to probably carry them through the better part of the year. So it was really a good program there then. Okay, so thank you so much.
You good, Ms. Martin?
Yeah, thank you.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hey, Chris, do we have any trips to the Telus Science Museum in Cartersville?
We went, I think 3 or 4 centers went to tell us this year.
Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love that
Absolutely.
place.
I wish I could have went.
Yeah.
I was stuck at home. So.
Sometimes we just pop down. There's so much to explore and to inspire down. So thank
It
you.
was truly amazing.
Very good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you all for doing everything that you do for our community centers. I really love the stuff that you all do during the summer camp time, but is there any plans to kind of extend it out throughout the year?
For the fall school term year,
Yeah.
we have some programs, right? You want to come to the program?
So as you guys know, we're actually working on our fall break. We'll be sending that information out and blasting out through our social media outlets as it relates to centers that are going to be hosting fall break activities. We have some centers that are going to be hosting fall break camps. So, and then of course, safe spaces during Halloween. So we're going to have centers that are going to be giving away candy, just serving as safe spaces within our communities. So again, Summer camp is just one thing that we do. We do spring break, fall break camps, specialty art camps. So it just doesn't stop with summer. Summer is one of our heaviest camps, but we will continue to push out more youth programming, and not just only focusing on the youth, but focusing on the whole family. So that's seniors and teens. It's really important that, because I think a lot of times we focus on the youth, and we miss even some of our adults. So we're trying to work with all demographics to make sure that we have programming that meets the needs of our individual communities. So hopefully that answered the question.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Just to the directors and the counselors, I just want to say, listen, thank you for all that you do. We don't give you your flowers enough, because we ask a lot of you all. You're not just the director of the center, the camp counselor. We expect it for you guys to be teachers, to be nutritionists, every single thing, and most of you guys play a role as being a surrogate parent to a lot of the kids that you deal with in the community and dealing with those families. And a majority of our centers are pretty much in, at-risk communities, underserved communities. And you missing out on your kids and the things that they have going on, because you taking time out of your life to serve and work for our community centers and making sure that our kids have the opportunity to thrive and get introduced to different things that they normally don't have an opportunity to. So I appreciate you providing the much needed guidance and the support that shaped their paths. Because if we didn't have dedicated people like you all working at our centers, that it wouldn't be a point of having a center, right? You guys have been working at these centers for numerous of years. We see the passion, you see the dedication. I do. I see it. Because I used to go to the center and see some of you all that's still here as directors today, still serving in those roles. So I just appreciate y'all. My grandkids, they go to the centers. My kids, they went to the centers. I still go to the community centers because I want to utilize all the resources that every community center have to offer. So when you see me, I'm not there trying to see what you're doing wrong. I'm there to actually see what you're doing right, so we can continue to enhance the things that you're doing, and also to see what added value that we can add as a city to help do the work that you're doing or support. So when you see me, you ain't got to pick up the phone and call Chris and Ty and say, "Oh, Coon Ride in the building," because that ain't what I'm there for. I'm there to have fun, put my tennis shoes on, line dance, shoot a little basketball, cut the food with you guys, because you guys need to have someone that can come brighten up your day too, because you dealing with a lot at those centers. It's a role that I know that I couldn't do, but I know that you can do, because you guys are equipped for it. So again, thank you all for what you do. Thank you, Carol. and
Thank you
welcome
so
aboard.
much, Council.
That's it, Jill.